rise and sequels roll the dice. One voice cuts through the noise and spin, yeah. No filter, no fear, he's going all in. Yeah, movies, games, TV shows, what truth in the blows. This is lights, camera, red, where fandom meets fury. Yeah, you know where we stand. Strap in, speak up, turn the volume to 10. And let the From heroes that soar to villains that flop, from endings we love to the ones that should stop. He'll call out the hype, tear down the disguise. Say what you're thinking but can't verbalize. No sugarcoat, no play it safe plan. Just raw uncut, that's Mr. Redman. Every frame, every game, every line's fair game. If it's weak, if it's fire, he'll call it by name. This is lights, camera, red, where fandom meets fury. Yeah, you know where we stand. Strap in, speak up, turn the volume to 10. And let begin.
Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, I am your wonderful host, Mr. Rant, and we're going to talk about the latest news, and we're going to be talking about Peacemaker, and we're going to be talking about Gen V Season 2, which just appeared in this past week, which if you haven't already, please go check out our last episode where we broke down Downtown Abbey's latest movie, The Grand Final, which is the last movie to wrap everything up, and ooh, we've got straight away the man, the myth, the legend, the Galactic Core podcast. How are you going, man? I'm gonna miss you. I can't believe your podcast is, you're slowly wrapping up your hiatus on your podcast, but I'm so excited to see what you're going to do next on your next show, which I'm really pumped for, man. Like, you're gonna absolutely nail it. And for everyone who doesn't know this podcast, you need to go subscribe to this man. Go check out his new page and go check out what he's doing. As always, we go live every single week for these episodes, so you can come in, rant, and chat. And a big shout out to Zin Yun Hitten. I have probably butchered that entirely, so thank you very much for coming past. As I said, we're going to be talking about the latest news, and we're going to be reviewing the latest episode of Peacemaker and Gen V, which just came out this week, which I'm really excited for, but at the same time, like, yay, but I still have to wait another fucking 12 months before I get get the boys season finale next season. Now, I know we're getting the other boys spinoff, which is Vought Rising, and there's also meant to be another rumor of one in Mexico as well, which is funny how the boys basically became the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what they made fun of. So there's no irony in that, but it's really good to see that we get so much. But next year is going to be a big year. We've got the boys season finale. We've got some of the biggest blockbusters lined up for next year coming out, which, will completely overshadow this year. And of course, my top pick for next year, which is Avengers Doomsday, which we're going to be talking about today as well. But please, if you haven't already, go check out the last week's episode. And without further ado, let's get into the news. But first off, I'd like a big shout out. The fact it is Batman Day. So celebrating the Caped Crusader. And for every iteration of the Batman, whether it be movies, TV shows, video games, I would love to know who is your favorite Batman. And if you say bat nipples, it does not count at all. If you say bat nipples. My favorite live action Batman is Christian Bale, but the all-time best Batman ever, there is no going this, is Kevin Conroy, who did the animated Batman voice for so long from the Batman animated TV show, from the Arkham games, from Justice League Unlimited, multiple animated movies. He is the iconic Batman to a T, and he's the best version. And Galactic Core Podcast, no George Clooney. No, it's like I said, it's not bat nipples. It's not bat nipples. He can look. There is a particular reason why he was as good as like what it is. Something like with some good qualities with his character. Very minimal together. But look, it's I guess the same thing with like who the best Joker is, but we all know who the worst Joker is. Let's be honest. But it's Batman Day. Batman is my all-time favorite comic book character. I've got a tattoo on my chest of Batman, which I was celebrating. I'm pretty sure it was the 75th anniversary of Batman. I got that, so I was 12 years ago now. I got that tattoo, so yeah. God, it won't be long until it's Batman celebrates his 100th year, which, you know, in the same year, we're going to get the Batman 2, and we're going to be getting Superman 2 in the same year, and we're getting Avengers Secret Wars, which, damn, that is just going to be so stacked, which I'm so excited for, and I can't wait. But so tell me, as in the comments, let me know who is your favorite Batman and why it's not bat nipples at all. Now, speaking of Avengers Doomsday, it's been officially confirmed that Doomsday has officially wrapped filming and will go into post-production, which is fantastic news. Well, I know it's still 15 months away until we get the film, but the fact that by the time we get this film, it's going to feel so long since we've had the last Avengers film, which is with 2019 with Avengers Endgame. The question is this going to be bigger than Avengers Endgame? I know a lot of people will say no, or it will help elevate it, and Secret Wars is going to be the bigger movie. Because I know I've said it week after week after week after week. Avengers Secret Wars, any crazy thing, which we've seen with the casting for Avengers Doomsday, is on the table. Your wildest fantasies, your wildest dreams of like, this character seeing this character can happen. That's the beauty of Avengers Secret Wars. And then beyond that, like that's also got a big question mark, is what's going to happen to the MCU. I know there's a lot of people who be like, MCU should just die. That should just end. Let's just wrap everything. When's it going to stop? Look, it won't stop. Once they run out of stories to tell, Marvel will hit that big reset button, which is rumored to happen after Secret Wars. That there's going to be a massive reset, very much like what's happened with the DCU at the moment, where some characters carry across, but some won't. It'll be a full reset. Because you remember, there's going to be a new Iron Man. There is going to be a new Wolverine. There's going to be a new Captain America. Technically, we have that now, sort of. But there's going to be a new Captain America. There's going to be a new Thor. There's a lot on that we have to keep in mind for. And like every character, like you remember, speaking of Batman, there's like, I think 6 or 7 now different Batman. There's 4 to 5 different Superman. It's all going to happen eventually. We can't hang on to this, and we're technically getting our third iteration of Doctor Doom. Which, look, judging by the photos that we've seen, the concept art is going to be ripped from the pages. Doomsday. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's going to feel weird with Robert Downey Jr. I don't think it will. Robert Downey Jr. is a fantastic actor. He's going to be able to immerse himself in this entire role. I feel after the first 5 minutes, you're going to completely forget the fact he was Iron Man. Like that was nothing at all. That's how I feel like what he is going to do with this role. And again, it's just trying to fathom the fact that the cast that we got for Avengers Doomsday so far, without any cameos, without anything like that, we have literally got the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the new Avengers, and Namor all thrown into this all together. Thunderbolts as well, all thrown into this massive, massive film that we're going to get. It seemed like a pipe dream down the track. And I know people are going to be like, it's just, it's not going to be as big a game. I don't think it's going to make as much money as Endgame, but Secret Wars, depending how it ends, could make that same money. And, even though you say you might be getting sick of it, look, unfortunately, that's the current state of the Hollywood at the moment. It's sequels, reboots, but you got to find the ones that are really good, which you got to remember this year we've had some fantastic films that haven't been sequels or reboots or legacy sequels in any of that at all. So for F1, right off the top of the bat. Now, last week I mentioned the fact that the weird thing is, well, not really weird thing, Paramount was rumored to be in a bid to buy Warner Brothers Pictures, which, as I said with my wonderful guest from James from I Was a Teenage Movie Star podcast that we came on last week, the fact that you could get Batman and Optimus Prime, like that's a crossover you wouldn't think would happen, but it would be a possibility. Now, another studio has thrown in their hat in the mix is Netflix. So if Netflix was better by Warner Brothers, you better see Wednesday and Batman in some kind of TV show, which would just be very brooding. That's on the cards if that does happen. But Netflix is carrying the bid to buy Warner Brothers. Look, ideally, it won't happen. For me, I know people make, oh my God, they'll become too big. But just the possibilities, being a superhero fan, on what they could mean, and not to mention, again, for me, because I don't want to keep buying different streaming services, it would be the fact Disney bought Warner Brothers, because then all the superhero stuff will be on one streaming platform. I could literally scroll from watching Superman, Avengers, Batman, Captain America, Iron Man, Wonder Woman, all the animated stuff in one sitting. That would be the dream. Like, just imagining that is incredibly fantastic. But again, people will be like, well, that will make the Mouse House too big, or that they'll control so much. Look, if they do buy them, that would be fantastic. I feel if anyone, it should be Disney to buy them. I don't think Sony will. I'm surprised Netflix is in the hat, but Paramount does have the backing between them and Skydance and everything they do in the background. So they've got that behind them. So that's a big thing. But I would love to know, who do you want to buy of Warner Brothers? Do you think Warner Brothers should stay exactly the same and no one buy it? But or do you think they should start selling off assets? Oh, not to mention, also with Warner Brothers is that I can go on Disney Plus and watch all of the old Looney Tunes cartoons on one streaming platform. Because, they took Looney Tunes off HBO Max entirely. So thank you, HBO Max and Warner Brothers, for that. Also, a little side note. Now, I know we've spoken about Grand Theft Auto 6 so many times, but we're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto even more. So if you didn't know, a couple of years ago, University in Tennessee hosted a class, which was how you could learn about the history of Red Dead Redemption, which that same professor who ran that class will be running a brand new one, which is growing the franchise of Grand Theft Auto, which if you want to get up to speed and get ready for that, if you're going for JD6, I would highly recommend it. I do remember that a few years ago, there was also some university was also doing a Batman one. They did a course on the history of Batman, which I would have done straight away. And I wish we had something like that in Australia. That would be fantastic. But I would have also taken the Grand Theft Auto history, which we're doing Grand Theft Auto 6 next year. So again, this year's just shaping up to be awesome, and also Mortal Kombat 2. And this was fantastic. This announcement literally got me out of my seat, and I didn't think it was going to happen. I'm pretty sure they said that it wasn't going to happen. And it's the best Marvel TV show to deserve this, because it will be the first Marvel TV show to get 3 seasons, and that is Daredevil Born Again has officially announced that they will be getting a season 3. So you will have Daredevil Born Again season 1, season 2, pretty sure it's The Punisher, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then season 3 of Daredevil Born Again, which really excites me because what that could mean of Brand New Day and the Punisher special weaving into this and the fallout of Daredevil Born Again. So obviously there must be a really good story or a solid reason on whatever's going to happen in Brand New Day to bleed into another season 3 onto that. Because I keep forgetting, because even though we're in October, about to be October, which is mental and wild, is the fact that we got Daredevil Born Again this year. And originally, far back, Daredevil Born Again was going to be 18 episodes and just be one season. That was going to be massive, because I was like, with this podcast, we usually review shows every single week. And I was like, wow, that's going to be just 18 solid weeks in a row of Daredevil Born Again, unless they did the here's 5, here's 4, here's 5 kind of batch, which we're seeing more shows do at the moment. Like, for example, like Andor Season 2, which Andor Season 2 got so many awards at the Emmys, which is well deserved. But in saying that, but then they said it was going to split into 2 seasons, which thank God. Season 2 has officially wrapped filming. So that's all done. So this will obviously be going to pre-production and going into start shooting for season 3. It's just a testament to these characters. So overall, Daredevil Born Again, or Daredevil, with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio's characters, will be 6 seasons. And for one point in time, we thought we would never see Daredevil back again. But the fact that we're going to be getting this another season is just fantastic. Because I was fully there with everybody else. I was like, yeah, look, if they don't do a season 3, it perfectly makes sense, because Disney's only done 2 seasons on previous shows. Nothing more if they do get a season 2. It's just a blessing, the fact that we got this show in the first place. So I was like, well, I can't push it too much because we might not get it again. But it's done. Season 3, Daredevil Born Again, is bloody coming in. Who are we going to see in that is the big question. Now, this is going to be a movie coming out in Christmas, December 25th to 26th, to definitely get ready for it. It is the Anaconda reboot with Jack Black and Paul Rudd. We got the trailer for this week, and wow, it is wild. It is basically semi-spoof, in the sense that these guys want to make a remake of the 90s Anaconda movie, but turns out there's actually a real Anaconda movie, and it turns into an absolute hot mess. And look, I'm really curious to see how this is going to look. It looks funny. Again, you got Jack Black, you got Paul Rudd. Like, you're not going to really say no to that kind of mix. Because when they first announced it, I was like, what a weird combo for an Anaconda movie. Which, if you haven't, you got to watch the original Anaconda. There's a lot of things in that just don't stand up, and it's a little bit it's typical 90s horror, that film. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it's just so funny. But seeing that these 2 actors are going to be coming into this, it's coming out then. But the trailer looks funny, looks interesting. I'm not expecting 5 stars, 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 10, whatever you want to call it. I just don't see it happening for this, but it just looks like it's going to be a good time. It's going to be funny, and just hopefully it just keeps that horror aspect to a point where, it's a bit bloody, and it's not just PG, just PG horror. But of course, if they do PG, they make more money, like Jurassic World Rebirth. I just hope it still has that slight horror effect that there's going to just be bodies dropping everywhere. Also speaking to about streaming, if you didn't know already, HBO Max is now got Superman that is currently now streaming. That streamed started streaming last Friday as we're recording this. With the same as episode 5 of Peacemaker. I am so excited. I can't wait to rewatch this film. This was one of the biggest highlights for me of this year. My expectations were very mid to low, which I think a lot of people were. The only thing that got me hanging on was the fact that it was James Gunn. mainly going the fact that he was writing this, he was directing this, the whole everything. So I was really excited that we're going to be getting this finally streaming. So definitely go watch this now. Just the waiting game of when are we going to see Fantastic Four drop, which rumored at this stage. If Superman's now, I would say November. November, I'll get ready for the Christmas holidays for Fantastic Four, and that will be all 3 Marvel films that have come out this year. That's going to be on Disney Plus, and I'm very excited to revisit Fantastic Four when that comes out on streaming. As much as I do, waiting for F1 that comes on streaming, but not me having to pay for it. I do want to watch it, but not to that extent. Now, a movie that's got a really big lot of question marks around it. Matt Reeves really said in a recent interview that we got a couple of tidbits for it. Still a little bit vague on what he wants to do with it. Apparently, he said going into the Batman 2, it's going to be very much a story for Bruce Wayne, of him struggling being Bruce Wayne and being Batman. Of course, Bruce Wayne being the Mask. And the fact that he has this whole idea of a 3 trilogy arc, which, I did a massive rant of bullshit. The fact that, wow, by the time this trilogy ends, I'm going to be pushing 40, and I'm only 30. Actually, no, 50. Sorry, I'm only 32 at the moment. But that's what we're gonna. Yeah, that's how long it's going to take before we finally get the 3rd film. And again, James Gunn has reiterated the fact that this is not part of his DC universe. This is Elseworlds. It's completely separate, and more so that it will not cross over. Again and again, when it's completely 2 separate universes for this, but James Gunn is also very excited for it. So he said the fact that it's going to be and the Penguin's going to be in it for about 6 or 7 scenes. He's going to be, but not a whole lot. But unfortunately, one of the highlights from the Penguin TV show is Sophia Falcone. She will not be in it because apparently they were deep in writing when everything was going on with the Penguin TV show. And of course, in that time, you can't predict who's going to be the standout, who's not going to be standout. You can go kind of gauge that going back that Sophia was going to absolutely, the actress was going to absolutely kill it, but you don't know. So it's that's probably the one little tidbit. I was like, oh, it's a little bit disappointing. It'd be really great if she could just have a cameo, but then again, he might be totally sending us down the rabbit hole with this film. And don't forget that in the same time, which is part of James Gunn's universe, is that we will have the Clayface movie, which is meant to come out, I'm pretty sure, that this time next year, which is going to be interesting. And again, as I said, I don't want James Gunn to do the Sony thing and like, hey, here's Madam Web with no Spider-Man, here's Kraven the Hunter with no Spider-Man, here's Morbius with no Spider-Man. But I know we really want you to see these characters with the hero counterpart because they haven't been on big screen before. And the Clayface movie, Clayface is a fantastic character that got new life thanks to the Batman the Animated TV series. Very much like what happened with Mr. Freeze. I'm curious how it will be shot for the Clayface movie as being live action, seeing what it could do. It could be a really great story if executed, because Clayface is such an interesting villain, and it's a very different villain than what happened to him. Very gruesome. Now, every time I look back on the animated TV show, I'm like, wow, that is a terrifying scene for kids. Very, very scary, very terrifying to see. It can be done. It can be executed fantastic with the character, his backstory, what he wants to do. That's the biggest thing. It's very interesting also going in the Batman animated TV show, where it was a slightly different variation of the story, which also turned out great. Which the Batman is a very underrated Batman TV show. But let's talk about Peacemaker. Let's talk about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 5. Now, past few weeks, I've not really spoken about Peacemaker because there's been so much going on. Everything else is wrapped up. And also in the past week, which my review will be coming out soon, with Demon Slayer. with Demon Slayer movie coming out, the big, bold, beautiful Journey movie also got the premiere for that, which was fantastic. We need to talk about that. But Peacemaker haven't really spoken about this because, again, also we've had Alien Earth, we've had Dexter, we've had Twisted Metal, and Wednesday, all thrown in the past few weeks. It's basically the season of TV shows in this past week, which is fantastic and is great. Great to see. Now, Peacemaker, James Gunn's just got another banger on his hands with this. Seeing these characters again, I still can't believe when I was looking at the timing that this show originally came out in 2022. Its first season did. And I was just looking at it going, wow, like, 3 years later we got it. 2 years later we got it. It was great. But like, just, I don't know, 2022 just feels so long ago. And then we finally got this. So getting the whole gang back, getting the 11th Street Kids back, getting John Cena back, now being in the new James Gunn era, being post-Superman, also post-Creature Commandos. Yes, that is also something that's in this DC right now, is legit, has happened. Also Peacemaker, dead, also makes a cameo in that show. And then we have Rick Flag Sr., which unfortunately, unlike his counterpart, he doesn't have white hair. So with this episode, it basically communication. Jesus, I don't think that's the right word. Accumulation. I can't know, but I was thinking another word in between. Like, with this is the fact Chris has been shown a parallel universe where his brother's alive, his dad's alive, Harcourt actually loves him. Everything's good in that universe, and whether or not he should stay. But with this episode, we get that backstory between Rick Flag Sr. and Harcourt, which we can see that after the death of Rick Flag Jr., again, after Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, we find out the fact that they were going to make sure that he was going to die. And then this whole thing that apparently a couple of months ago that both Harcourt and Johnson were Chris were on a cruise, and she told him that she loved him, but that's thrown everything in disarray, which you can see the fact that Harcourt is so distressed about the whole this is the fact that she did like Rick Flag Jr., the fact that the person that killed him, she's fallen in love with him, the fact that she wants her job back because she doesn't know how to do anything else, she can't do a normal job, and that stems right into this, which he also, Rick Flag Sr. wants Chris because he wants to beat the living shit out of him, which we got that, which was, you could understand why he was. So you could fully understand, you could fully feel with Chris on wanting to go to the other universe with everything. And you can really feel it. And that this does fantastic. And this is a great writing for James Gunn as you feel for him all the way through this. And you fully understand that, spoiler, why he jumps to the other universe at the end. Unfortunately, he does have Judo Master follow him because I'm like, wow, that's going to be fantastic. Now, unfortunately, I wish Judo, jeez, you got me there. Judo Master would just die, but no, he's probably going to go to that universe and F it up. Which unfortunately, which we kind of knew that was going to happen, we do get spoilers right at the end. The fact that all the gang, Lemon Street, do jump to the other universe to go save Chris, which they do say right at the end, and that's what they're going to do, and bring him back. So are we going to get some characters seeing their alternate versions? How, what's really going to make, and this is my big question with this. He's jumped the other universe. He's got there. Not to mention Bardo, we find out she's also a cyborg, which in the comics she is. Was expecting her version now to be the cyborg, but I guess that was really cool. Still love the fact that what's the name did have her mangled body as his screensaver on his phone, just showing you how messed up he is. So that got me. I was pissing myself laughing at that. But in saying that, so as we see what she's turned to her cyborg. Also in the comics, for anyone who doesn't know, she also becomes Batman's bodyguard and also lover, which most women do when they're getting interaction with Bruce Wayne. So that's her kind of like mini backstory. And you can fully understand, like I said, you can fully understand why he wants to go to this other universe. But the thing is, for me going into this is like, what's going to pull him back? Like, I know it's going to be Harcourt, might pull him back, but he's got his Harcourt. Like, there must be an underlying thing in that universe that he's not going to like, and it's going to be fully wrong, or it's going to implode, or something like that. It's going to really pull it across and go for him to go into this. And like, what's going to happen with Rick Flag Sr. as well, because we do know the fact that he is going to be in more Superman projects. He's basically in Amanda Waller moving forward, but like, how's he going to tackle that? What's going to happen to Argus? With only 3 episodes left, are we going to see any more major cameos? Are we going to see Superman? Because that'd be really cool if we got Superman in this, or just a small smidge of a cameo. That would be great. But again, the soundtrack, and also Mickey Rourke's character with the giant Looney Tunes gun, going to get Eagly, and we find out Eagly is indeed the prime eagle, and he dies by all the other eagles. That was really funny. I was like, of course it's going to happen to him. Of course he's going to get eaten by eagles. And I love it when he drops Eagly drops the finger to Chris. He's like, I'm going to pretend you didn't give that to me. So, and he takes Eagly with him. So the story definitely pulls you in. You get to fully understand why he's going to go to the other universe and why he's going to go why he's going to stay. But how's this all? My question is, with 3 episodes to go, and we do have, so we don't have titles for the next 3 episodes, but we do have the title for the next one, which is Ignorance Chris. So, yeah. So what's going to happen with that? My God, this is going to end on October the 9th, which that weekend, me and my wife are going to go see Back to the Future, the musical, which I'm so excited for. That's going to be awesome. But, 3 episodes to go. The show's holding up for season 1. Again, it's fantastic to see all these characters. Judo Master was one character. I was like, I thought you died season 1. So I was like, I couldn't remember because it's been a while, but I'm like, I'm sure you carked it. Guess not. But this world, it's funny because this world is messed up. He's messed up. It's funny, bird blindness, all that. Like, it just fits into that James Gunn area, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It can be that weird and different. And I know people will be like, we've done the parallel universe. We've already seen that again and again. Look, it's a TV trope, and it does really well, and that's what we're going to see in this. But the weird thing is the fact it's just the fact that originally it wasn't in a parallel universe. It was just a pocket universe, and it was basically just a wardrobe for Peacemaker. It wasn't meant to be a parallel universe, but that's what it's been turned into. And whatever happens in this, will we get to see Peacemaker again in season 2? Will we see the 11th Street Kids in Superman 2, which is coming out in 2027? Where will they pop up again? But you feel for this entire team, especially, wow, I just forgot his name. Jesus, that just got to me good. Vigilante. Sorry, Vigilante, Adrian. He's the one character, and I feel like he's being totally wrong because I'm like, Chris is his best friend, and he's just left him. Didn't mention him in his note, just ditched him, just left him. Too bad, so sad. And he hasn't even mentioned it. So I feel like, even with Harcourt, I feel like he's going to be one that's going to be right into Chris's face and be like, well, what about me, man? I'm your best friend. You've just ditched me. You are my only friend. How are we going to go into, what are you doing this for? And the curious thing is, where is he? Also, his version in the parallel universe. I'm really curious to see as well. If he's actually the bad guy in all of it, that would be such a twist of fate if that was the case. But I digress. I want you to know, can you tell me what you think about Peacemaker Season 5? What do you think about how this is going to end? There's 3 episodes to go. Is there any Easter eggs I missed entirely? Please let me know as well. But look, trust me when I say is that this is the premier TV show you should be watching right now. The other one is Alien Earth, which I still can't believe its IMDb rating, because I'm like, oh my God. Like, trust me when I say Alien Earth is not the top TV show of 2025 I would have predicted. There is like 12 other shows that I thought would be higher than it, but the fact that we will be leaving 2025 being, if not number one, if not number two, definitely number three, at least say the fact that one of the best TV shows was Alien Earth. Like, just, I know Alien, I know people are like, oh, well, Alien Romulus was really good. Yes, but an Alien TV show on an franchise that, could say that has its ups and downs and downs. How is a TV show going to work? But nah, bang on that money. Like, that's just worked out fantastic. Now let's talk about Gen V season 2. Oops, season 2. Season 2. So Gen V, we are joined by all the cast again, except for Adrian. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, as I'm recording this, is that if you don't know that the actor unfortunately did pass away. I think it was a bike crash. Could be wrong in saying that. But unfortunately, he did pass away, which I know a lot of people are asking what's going to happen with his character. Spoiler warning, they do handle his death very well. And it very seems into the story, we find out the fact he was trying to escape the prison. And he had the same condition as his father, which was all the brain aneurysms, the tremors and everything, and basically pushed himself too far, which killed himself. Spoilers. As I'm recording this, I said this came out 3 days ago. So if you haven't already watched it, come back and let's rant about it. So we find out that's what's happened to him. And like, it's RIP. Also, Robert Redford in the past week. I nearly forgot to mention that. RIP to him as well. This year I just feel like people are just dropping off. But yeah, it's been 2 years since we got the Gen V cast. And we did have a couple of cameos in the boys season last year. But now we're all back to see what's happened for that. And we're back to Adolkin School, which we also do get a small backstory with Thomas Adolkin, sorry. So it looks like we're going to do a bit of backstory on him, or what the school was built on, what was the mission, what was it 10 for, how did it turn into a weird testing facility, and all that fun stuff. Normally it makes me feel like that kind of story just made me think of like Arkham, like instead of it being an asylum, it's a school, what was intended to, the mess ups and everything basically being, as Maria says, school's been effed up. Going into that. But we do also find out with Maria that she escaped. We get to see the gang going back to the school. They're being reaccepted into the school after everything that happened at the end of the season, the first season, which is interesting. Everyone has returned into this and see what's going to happen with this last season. Of course, we also get Starlight. We get also the Deep and Firecracker all making cameos at different points, which is one of the best parts about this spin-off show. Is like, I'm glad that it's very seamless with the boys, that we get all this. It's not too far out that, if we get a cameo, it's like, oh my God, they're actually here. But like, it very, it streamlines side by side, which is what I love about the show. And for just 3 episodes, the writing on this is, again, it's fantastic. The Boys is one of the best superhero genre TV shows that we have ever gotten in that role. Just the writing, the meta of it all, these characters, and even though we are getting season 1, with Gen V, like the writing is still up that level. I know a lot of people didn't like the first season, whether or not you didn't see the normal characters or they didn't want to go to high school. That's fair enough. Just stick with the Boys. Not to mention there'll be a recap. Again, at the beginning, recapped. Pretty sure that the last season also recapped everything happened in Gen V when you're leading up to it. So you get that anyway. So it doesn't matter really if you don't like it. It's just being able to enter this world of the Boys once again, which is fantastic to see. And we get the brand new Dean, which is Cypher. Which it's funny because I love the fact that one of the characters does say that, even his name sounds treacherous, but we don't know what his particular power is. And it's very much coming with, the superheroes to be a minority. They're being threatened by the humans, leading into everything that ended with the last season, The Boys, into that. It's going to be humans versus superheroes, which, Cypher does say, the humans will eradicate us. I'm like, oh, you say that, but you're the one with the powers. So I'm like, how's that gonna? Yeah, like you're the better person anyway. seeing all this, with the love interests back with Maria and oh Jesus, I just forgot their name as well. God, I'm just forgetting everyone's name this week. With Jordan, the love story there, and Sam, like it's so nice to be back in this world. But trust me, for the get to go, it really brings you back in on what's going to happen with these characters coming back to the school. Who's obviously the bad guy going in, and what is this special project Odessa, which we find out is Maria, but we don't know why. And then we also find out the fact that it was actually Cypher who delivered her. So what's this full connection going into this? So we got the 3 episodes. The setup for the rest of episodes is very strong. So altogether, again, it will be 8 episodes long. So this will finish on October 22nd. So next episode is Bags. The Kids Are Not All Right. TBA, that's interesting. Hell Week and Trojan are the next few episodes coming out. So right now is going to be the rest of the Peacemaker and it's the rest of Gen V moving forward. But it's just fantastic to see these old characters are back. It's messed up, especially this 3rd episode with Sam. Geez, his brain, the Muppets, that's all back. Poor Kate. I feel like Kate's also in this half trying to be helpful, trying to save her own ass. Basically, she gets her ass kicked. She comes back and she loses her powers. The whole thing is there. Is she going to be able to protect herself moving forward if she has no powers? And she's also lost a hand because they also blew off, which is why she's wearing a glove. And she got a whole bunch of staples. And also, oh my God, again, which I forgot about this, again, with every Gen V season, there's always one scene in the first 3 episodes that really makes you go, what the did I just watch? And you get that in episode 3. There is a scene, again, I was not expecting it. I was like, God damn, this is just Ant-Man absorbing powers in a wrong setting. It's very similar to another scene that we saw in The Boys, but basically in reverse, which I cannot unsee that scene, and that is absolutely wild. But that is the ugly, beautiful WTF of what The Boys is and why I keep tuning in. Again, I know with some people, someone will be like, what the hell are you watching? And I'm watching pure entertainment. And what I do hate time and time again is that Amazon, I feel I don't want to pay the extra money that you want. The ads are so annoying. Like, so annoying. Like, yeah, like Disney Plus is this much, but there's no ads. No ads. I don't want to pay for it. Or like, I got Amazon because I want the streaming stuff and I want your Prime deals. I don't want ads, especially the fact that sometimes, not all the time, the audio isn't the same as the audio on the show. I know it's just a gripe, and I should be grateful for the fact that I'm at least getting the show streaming to my TV in my living room, but still, it's very, very annoying, which I'm pretty sure everyone can contest going into this. So again, Marie is also trying to find her sister in this, trying to find her, trying to tell her the truth, which we got about Cypher and the fact that Cypher was also at the facility where we're holding Maria, Emma, and all of them together, and why he was there, what's going to happen with this. So the show is fully booked, like is jam-packed, and hopefully the quality of this, which it should stay all the way to the end. One of the best things about this show I also love is that every new character we meet, they have some weird, unique ability, showing the fact that it's not just you got super strength, you can fly, you can do this, you got electricity, the fact that they've got weird and wonderful powers, you're a chameleon, you can absorb other people's powers, you can have fire on your fingers. Like it shows you the diversity, which is really good at the moment, but the diversity of the fact that everyone's powers are different. And another great thing is that some people's powers all have a drawback. Like Andre's father, we get to see in this season, who's going to help the gang, is that he's basically got Magneto's powers, but it causes tremors, and if he uses it too much, can kill him. That's another thing entirely. So it's just it's really packed there going, and one of the best things about this show. But we're going to be reviewing this all the weeks moving forward, every single. But I want to know, how did you feel about the first three episodes? It was jam packed. Did you get it going? Love the action. Love the bloody mess. Love everyone who does drop and gets killed in different ways. That's fantastic. But I'd love for you to know as well, so we can rant about it and talk about it in the comments. Comics. I was like, where did I get that from? But yeah, Gen V, so packed. I'm so happy to be back into this universe going in. And probably the other thing is, again, was actually Starlight helping her? Doesn't seem right. Are we going to see Deep again? Are we going to get Homelander again? Also, some people's powers, like the media person who is also throws up honey and has a bee stinger. That's the parts where I'm like, that's gross. And I feel like you're going to die and you're going to kill the wrong person. You are definitely not lasting to the end of the season. But strong start, positive. Let's see how the rest of the season goes and all of that. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ranters and rantettes, always don't forget us to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Go check out our Instagram, where we show the biggest premieres that we go to in the week. We got another premiere coming up, so please join me for that. And as always, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.